FC Dallas and the Portland Timbers meet for the third time this season. FC Dallas took the first two, 3-1 in Providence Park back in April, 2-1 right here back in May. Timbers trying to avoid a season sweep. Oscar Perea has FC Dallas flying. Best record in Major League Soccer. Caleb Porter, the counterparts in his fourth season. He's had some success in this stadium. Of course, last year's Western Conference Finals come immediately to mind. Because of the international matches that are going on right now, World Cup qualifiers, many players missing from this match. For the Timbers, 3 gone: Darlington Nagbe, Albus Powell, Jermaine Taylor. FC Dallas has 5 missing, including their first choice defensive midfield of Kellen Acosta and Carlos Grueza. Minor Figueroa also a regular starter for FC Dallas. Time now for our KeyBank Scouting Report. Ross, focusing on FC Dallas.
Well, we look how FC Dallas, how they press, and it all starts from Max Ciaruti. The Timbers supporters will know all about what he does, and he's that first defender for this team, and he makes life uneasy with the way that he presses, and the others behind him, the midfield, just screening away and making it difficult to play into or through that midfield. Without Fabian Castillo, life has gone on, and a big reason is Mauro Diaz. Him getting on the ball, he is one of the best in the leagues. And Michael Barrios, his shiftiness and his pacing behind can really stretch teams out.
We are underway, the Portland Timbers and FC Dallas from Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas.
And as you mentioned, FC Dallas are missing 5 guys, but I think none bigger than their midfield. And Ortiz with Ulloa, them coming in for Kellen Acosta and Gruezo, them going out. I think that's a soft center where the Timbers can get at. The last time Ulloa and Ortiz played in, they got thumped 5-0 away at Seattle. So it shows you that the Timbers are able to get it, would be able to get at them, that there is areas there for them to really poke holes at.
And FC Dallas has been fantastic this season. They lead the league. They have had kind of been feast or famine a little bit. Timbers trying to get forward quickly. Adi, a volley that's wide of the net. You mentioned the 5-0 loss to Seattle. They've had 4 matches where they've been shut out and blown out big. They lost 5-0 to both Houston and Seattle. Also lost 4-0 in New York, 3-0 in Vancouver. Aside from those matches, Dallas has been even more impressive than the overall look. They're a plus 24 goal differential in the 23 other matches than those 4 blowouts.
And it must be said, that game against Seattle, it was a weakened side. It did spark a lot of conversations and controversial conversations.
Max Ciaruti trying a first-time effort that is well over the bar. Current conditions on the field right now, 80 degrees and not the humidity that you could find in Dallas. It's really a quite pleasant night for soccer. Discover over 40 great cities Alaska Airlines serves from Portland, including non-stop flights to Dallas-Fort Worth. For Alaska's lowest prices, visit alaskaair.com.
Just getting a look at Ridgewell in the middle of your screen, just giving them motion with his arms to calm things down. And that'll be important for tonight. Caleb Porter, he talked to us earlier, Jake, about how the team wants to be aggressive. Where so many teams will come here and they'll sit in, where Caleb Porter, he wants to go right back at FC Dallas tonight and make sure that they're going on the front foot as well.
Chara wins it in the midfield. Has Fetus coming forward on the left. To the feet of Fernando Adi, who was in an offside position. And takes a hit as well from Atiba Harris.
Will be an interesting battle with Adi and Zimmerman and Hedges as well tonight. Matt Hedges, the captain for FC Dallas, but there we see the encounter between Zimmerman and Fernando Adi. Just that that ball's been played in, but he was in an offside position. That's where the referee has given the free kick towards FC Dallas.
Adi back to his feet with a smile on his face. Ted Uncle, the referee today, one of the more aggressive refs in the league. He has the highest rate of red cards shown this season among refs that have called more than 1 match. And historically, not shy about pointing to the spots. 28 penalties called in 42 matches. That's 2 PKs every 3 games. That is by far the highest career rate of any ref that the Timbers have had this season.
As a player, that's an instruction that you share just briefly with one another, and whether the coaches, they let you know this is what the referee's about. They'll let you play, or you better watch your tackles going in.
Flag comes up as Harris gets around Vitas, the assistant referee, calling for a foul.
See with FC Dallas, the exact same as the Portland Timbers, a 4-2-3-1, how they'll line up. Just look for Mauro Diaz as he comes up upon Dewsbury and Diego Chara. It'll be up to those two to make sure they're looking after the number 10 for FC Dallas.
Vitas scored his first goal for the Timbers last week. Got a log slice. Said he's made it into a coffee table on his balcony. Can sit and have his morning coffee before training and think of his first goal.
Yeah, a few players have been doing that. Bit of furniture out of their honor log that they've been receiving.
Stephen Taylor told us he plans on getting a picture of the celebration and getting that attached to the log slice, having it varnished. Pair of defenders getting their first goals in Portland in the 4-2 win over Seattle.
What we were just talking about in the scouting report, just how one player will press for FC Dallas there, Rudy going in, and the rest of them just screening. That midfield screening to make it difficult to try and thread passes in. Victor Ulloa just doing a nice job to make sure he got in the way of things.
Calling all Timbers fans, book your upcoming flights on Alaska Airlines to select Timbers road games and receive an up to 20% discount. Visit timbers.com/flyalaska for all details. Milano to Jack Barby. Now Zarek Valentin making his first appearance in over a month. In towards Adi. Walker Zimmerman there. The flag came up from the assistant referee, I think calling for a foul, but Ted Uncle waved it off. Timbers get the ball back. Valeri springs Milano through. The flag is up now. Milano's offside.
Well, there's one that Milano, he should be staying onside because he can see right down that line, and he can see that there was time on the ball, and he's always got his pace to run in behind.
Again, the Timbers take it away in the midfield. Barmby. The root of Valeri, just a little too much. And now Dallas will try to break. Diaz, Chara broke it up.
Have to beware of that counter-attack. Diaz getting on the ball and trying to spring players in. There, Barrios was behind them, so he wasn't involved in the fray, but you could see the Timbers, the attention that went straight to Mauro Diaz as soon as he got the ball. Chara was sprinting himself back.
Juan Esteban Ortiz is down, and Ted Uncle, the referee, immediately stopped play as Ortiz was grabbing his head. Quickly back to his feet.
Just a coming together. The ball's in the air. You talked in the opening about 50-50s. Adi, he's coming back around, and whether he's just caught Ortiz by surprise, it's a challenge he's allowed to go to. It's fair for him to go, and his arms were down by the side, may have just clipped them ever so slightly.
There's Mauro Diaz, the number 10 for Dallas. Juan Esteban Ortiz making his first appearance in 7 matches. He missed the last 6, didn't play in the last 6, I should say. Just 97 total minutes this season for the 29-year-old Colombian. Diaz, beautiful back heel, springs Barrios. Whipped into the box, it's easy for Ridgewell. Now the Timbers will push. Valeri's got room to come forward. Still Valeri through for Milano, and it's just a little too far.
We didn't quite know what he was going for there. He had 2 runs about to crisscross. Milano, he came in field, and Fernando Adi was trying to take his mark away. But it's opened up, and you see all this space, and Diego Valeri, he's just looking for a run that he can see and spot, and whether it's Milano, he's trying to play into feet, something that Milano can take a touch into that space, but Milano is behind the ball in the end. It's nice and open, and we talked about that soft area for FC Dallas in the center of the midfield, Ulloa and Ortiz, and how the Timbers, if they get the other side of them, then they can spring through.
FC Dallas without 5 players away on international duty. 3 starters, including their first-choice defensive midfielders, the pairing of Kellen Acosta and Carlos Gruezo. And Fernando Adi has sat down behind the play.
Well, he's motioned for the trainer, Nick Wald, coming on, and just wonder whether it was from a previous challenge. He's gone into a few so far in this early stages of the match.
Few knocks early on in the first 10 minutes. A sight, of course, that Caleb Porter doesn't want to see is his top scorer down on the turf. 3 goals in his last 4 matches, Fernando Adi. Scored his 13th goal of the season against Seattle. He's tied for 5th in the league, and he's the first Timber ever with 2 13-goal seasons across all eras, dating back to 1975. Got a glimpse of Jack McInerney getting ready on the sideline in case Adi needs to come out.
He's obviously felt something, but he's rolling the socks back up there, and looks as though he's going to give it a go, see if it's something he can walk off. Be a worrying moment, as be important for him to have a big influence in this match and for him to stay on that pitch. We saw what he did to the center backs of Seattle Sounders last week.
Hollingshead, Barmby recovers, Hollingshead keeps it. Ulloa, now Diaz. Gets around Valeri, trying to find Harris. Mauro Diaz, looking for a Rudy. Ridgewell got it clear only as far as Ulloa, ends up with Hollingshead. Now Ulloa, beautiful back heel. Barrios trying to cut back. Ulloa in the box, and Valentin sweeps it clear.
There's plenty of quality in amongst this FC Dallas side, and they're willing to try things in that final third.
We've seen in just 12 minutes a pair of spectacular back heels. Neither came off. This might. Barrios is through. Gleason came, and Ted Uncle points to the spot. He took a moment to decide. It will be a penalty kick for FC Dallas.
And Gleason has left, stood staring, just wondering about the decision, but initially that ball going in, I think it's tripped Stephen Taylor. It's a flick by Maxi Urruti, and as it goes into space here, Jake Gleason, he decides to come out. Now the question is, that contact coming across, I think that is rather soft, because you look at the body language from Barrios, and he's already going to ground. Just there, he's left his foot and he's going to ground. I think that's very soft. I think that's a poor decision by Ted Uncle, and you gave the stats before, Jake, about how Ted Uncle will point to the spot. He's gone far too quickly there into the decision, and I think he's made a poor decision.
Barrios stays down. The FC Dallas trainer comes out to check on him, as Jake Gleason awaits the 5th PK of the season that he will face. He has been scored on the previous 4 times. Mauro Diaz will take for FC Dallas. He is 2 for 2 this season, 5 for 6 in his career. 5 of his 6 penalty kicks have gone to his left, to the keeper's right. Of the 6 career penalty kicks in MLS, he's only pushed 1 to his right side. It is Diaz against Gleason. his left, gets it past the diving Gleason, and it's 1-0 FC Dallas.
He takes it well, the number 10 for FC Dallas. But if we just look at the initial call from Ted Uncle, as the ball goes in, Stephen Taylor, he misjudges it, and as it goes in, Barrios, he gets a touch of that, and I think that is very soft. But it's nice and cool by Diaz as he comes up to the ball, he picks his spot, and as Jake Gleason, he does guess the correct way. But Diaz, with enough pace and power behind the ball, he's able to tuck it nicely into the side netting, puts his laces right through the middle of that ball.
Can't place that much closer to the post than Mauro Diaz did. Timbers trailing 1-0, needing a response. Valentin floats it into the box. Seitz came a little hesitant, but he ends up with it in the end. Diaz.
Just go back to that penalty call and the original flick by Maxi Rudy. I think it caught Stephen Taylor by surprise. He's tried to put his head into it, but just didn't give enough cover, and it's where he's gambled for it. All of a sudden, Barrios, he was through, and Jake Gleason deciding to come out.
Oh, could have been a giveaway. Milano surprised by deflection. Rosales coming forward. Rudy, former Portland Timber, leaves for Ulloa. Now Diaz trying to pick out Hollingshead. Valentin steps up, and there's room on the right side if the Timbers can get forward. Broken up. FC Dallas has the second best record in the league when scoring first, 11-0-2. Timbers, when allowing the first goal, have gotten a couple wins. Valentin calling for a handball, not given. Excuse me, they've gotten a few points. 1-8-2 the Timbers are when conceding first. Liam Ridgewell, direct, looking for Milano. Milano is behind. Seitz off his line, he missed it. Seitz out of his goal. Milano trying to find Valeri. Goal still open. And Dallas recovers and gets it clear. It was a glorious chance for the Timbers.
What a big moment that was. A terrific ball from Liam Ridgewell that drops right in behind from Milano when Seitz gets it all wrong. He's worried about the edge of his box, and that he's come out of it and he can't handle. And Milano, he's picked his head up to try and find Valeri coming in. He's just put too much on the ball for Valeri to stride onto.
First corner kick for the Timbers. Jack Jewsbury will take. Adi trying to get to it. It's sent clear by Dallas. And then Ulloa just boots it across midfield.
It was important for the Timbers to be able to hit that ball where that midfield is so congested, and you can see the back line for FC Dallas really creeping up and keeping the distance between them and the midfield with Maxi or Rudy. And so with all that space in behind, you need that quality. Then all of a sudden that back four are going to start thinking about Ridgewell on the ball, or if it's Stephen Taylor, thinking about that space in behind, and they start to just creep back a little bit. That's where the openings start to happen in the midfield. But they're so good, FC Dallas, just defending in that midfield area, and you can see where their line of confrontation is, where they start to put the pressure on, and those balls that have just gone in, what we've seen there, are so difficult to be able to come out with it.
Looking for a Rudy. He'll run onto it. As Barrios in support. Ryan Hollingshead, now a Rudy. Diaz. Ulloa wasn't making the run. Vitas to midfield. Adi flicked it on into space. Valeri runs onto it. He's one-on-one with Hedges. Milano coming forward. Valeri plays to Milano. Zimmerman recovers.
They're so open, FC Dallas. Once the Timbers get the other side of Ortiz or Ulloa, they're able to get down that front four. Sorry, the back four, they're able to get onto them, and you see things are starting to happen for the Timbers. There's openings there once they get it beyond the defensive midfielders.
Milano for Valeri, broken up by Ortiz. And Milano brings down Harris. Lucas Milano scored his third goal of the season last week. First one in a couple of months for the Argentinian. 3 goals, 5 assists in his first full year in Portland. Jake Gleason will just send it across midfield, trying to find Adi. Zimmerman got to it first. Hollingshead gives it away. Valentine to the feet of Milano. Timbers turn and come forward. Milano wide to Valeri. Valeri broken up by Hollingshead. And Ulloa recovered. Valentine brought down Barrios. Ted Uncle says play on. Points a finger at Valentine, who might be getting a yellow card. And then Jewsbury pulls the shirt of Ulloa. Ted Uncle will bring Zarek Valentine over to talk. And he will show the yellow card to Jack Jewsbury. So he talked to Zarek Valentine about the foul on Barrios, and then showed Jewsbury the yellow for grabbing the shirt of Ulloa.
Definite pullback from Jewsbury. There's a little complaint from Jack Jewsbury there on the call from Ted Uncle.
Ulloa sent into the box. Should be routine for Jake Gleason. It is. Quick outlet into space to spring Milano. Milano coming forward. Cuts it back from distance. Sends it well wide of the net.
It's that final ball that has let him down. Did so well to get himself into around the 18-yard box, but Atiba Harris was caught so far up the pitch. He'd even gone beyond Paul Rosales, and you just see where Atiba Harris is, right on the edge of the 18, and he's the right back for FC Dallas. It's a good throw out, good ball out by Jake Gleason, and now Lucas Milano, he's able to run at Walker Zimmerman. He shifts the ball from Ortiz, but he needs the contact from there, and in the end he catches it wrong.
Jewsbury breaks it up. Adi couldn't get it to Valeri. Rosales to Diaz. Jewsbury called for a foul, doesn't like the decision. He did get most of the ball, if not all of the ball, but Ted Uncle thinks he ran over Mauro Diaz in the process.
On the book here now, Jewsbury, he's going to have to manage this game. As much as he felt that he was hard done by from Ted Uncle.
Starting his 4th game in a row. Recently became the 3rd player in MLS history to play 150 matches with 2 different clubs, joining Steve Ralston and Bobby Boswell. Hollingshead in the corner, keeps it in play, but can't keep his cross in play.
And for Jewsbury and Charles, the 3rd straight start in a row for them together, and that relationship between the two, where Chara, we saw it last week against Seattle, he was releasing from Dewsbury to go and hunt down tackles. And Dewsbury just happy enough to sit at home, sit in that pocket, make sure he was protecting. Just wonder with those roles, will Chara release a little bit more as the game progresses? Timbers obviously need a goal to get back in it.
Taylor sends that one into the stands.
Great footwork from Matt Hedges. How much this team relies on him when he starts 10, 3, and 6. Shows you the presence and the steel that he brings to this FC Dallas side.
Yeah, they're 4-4 without Hedges this season. No ties, 4 wins, 4 losses. Makes a big difference. 26-year-old center back on the ball now. Matt Hedges to the feet of Arudi. Tried to get it to Barrios. It was broken up. And it will be the first FC Dallas corner kick of this match.
Just holding on to his ankle, giving a little rub. Arudi from the challenge with Chara coming in. But as soon as Maxi had turned and started to get onto the 18-yard line, that's when Diego Chara started to come out. Up out defensively.
Jake Gleason organizing his defense. Getting ready to face their first corner kick of this match. All the way to the back post. Went off the back of Harris. And it will be a throw for the Timbers. There's Jake Gleason. Second in the league in saves per 90 minutes. Just over 4 a game. 4th in save percentage. Making his 21st straight start. Diaz, now Barrios. Tested Gleason, who got down quick.
He had to pay attention to it all the way because came underneath the body of Zarek Valentin as Barrios was released again from Mauro Diaz. Just talk about Jake Gleason. I thought the last time he was here at Toyota Stadium was a big game for him because you go one game back before then, Vancouver Whitecaps, he had a big blunder. He was be the first to say he made a mistake. But then how he recovered in that FC Dallas match. We talk about the character and the keeper being able to put pass games behind them. Gleason had a very big game that day at Toyota Stadium.
Maxi Arudi called for a foul, pressuring and pestering Liam Ridgewell. And we saw what his high press can do in the first match between these two teams this season. April 13th in Portland. Created a couple turnovers that led directly to Dallas goals. Was called for a foul there. Hollingshead gives it away. Ridgewell, again it's pressure, this time from Diaz.
The best of kicks from Gleason as he was just looking to pick out Lucas Milano.
That's not great from Harris. Well done by Seitz to handle that.
Just start again. The referee is quick on the whistle there as Vitas was going in to try and win the challenge off Rosales. Very tight with his calling.
We mentioned towards the top of the broadcast, Ted Uncle likes to call penalty kicks, likes to give out red cards at a higher rate than anybody else, any other referee in the league. Now 29 penalties in 43 matches after the 14th minute Mauro Diaz penalty kick. It's the only goal in this match. Dallas with a 1-0 lead. We're in the 29th minute. Rosales has Harris on the right. It's out of his reach.
Just see there was no interest from Milano to come back and help out defensively. There was a space for Rosales when he got on the ball, but Chara was quick again to get across to him. Hey, look, there's always a red kit around. As soon as maybe skipped by one player, if a pass goes in between, then the next player's there connected for FC Dallas, ready to press. That's where you really do need that quality on the ball. Whether you go direct through Addy and then you play off him here, as Jake Gleason has opted for.
Addy called for a foul. Dallas has been great defensively at home, and they've been great at home in every facet of the game. 9-0-4 their record here at Toyota Stadium, as Fernando Addy not happy with the decision of Ted Unkel. Dallas has allowed just 9 goals in 13 matches here at Toyota Stadium. That's third best in the league. Timbers have one of those goals in their 2-1 loss back in May.
Referee Ted Unkel just giving the signal of one more. Maxi Arruti, that's enough from him, enough fouls.
Vitas looking for Addy, it might get through. It did. Who did that come off of? It came off of Addy, and it will be a goal kick. Dangerous ball in from Vitas.
It was well watched by Matt Hedges, who got across, but Vitas, this is, for me, the strongest part of his game. Is his ability to deliver a good cross in, and Fernando Addy's just trying to get across the face, trying to get across the front stick, but Hedges, he sees it all the way.
Vitas still looking for his first assist with the Timbers, but has consistently, since making his debut, caused problems with his crosses.
And I think for Fernando Addy, when you see a player like Vitas on the ball, you're willing to gamble a little bit more, because you know he's got the quality, the capability to put a ball into an area, and so you're willing to take the risk to get into those spots that the ball will come to you.
Diaz keeping it under pressure from Valeri. Harris couldn't. Oh, it's beautiful footwork from Diego Valeri. Addy lets it run on to Milano. Barmby making a run. Milano keeps it himself, finds Chara. Back to Valeri. Just a little bit behind Valeri, who slides in. Keeps it with the Timbers.
Just felt there Barmby made the wrong run. He should have stayed out of it. Allow Milano to go one-on-one with his pace, and then wait to see what Milano would come up with.
Vitas again a chance to cross. Nobody at the back post.
I do sense there's openings for the Timbers, and they're getting through that press of FC Dallas that just seemed to all of a sudden open up, and there's space for the Timbers to run into.
They've definitely challenged Matt Hedges and Walker Zimmerman in the first 33 minutes of this match. Got behind once. Best chance for the Timbers came in the 18th minute when Lucas Milano got around Chris Seitz. Had no angle to shoot. Played it back across the face of the goal. And Diego Valeri also put in a tough angle. Timbers unable to convert, but they've, as you mentioned, Ross, they've had space coming forward. Hollingshead, that came off of Ryan Hollingshead, and it'll be a goal kick.
That's with FC Dallas. They're always a team you have to worry about. You look at their last match away at Houston, and Houston were winning 1-0 after halftime, and they looked in control of the game. I thought they were the better team, and then all of a sudden a switch went on, and FC Dallas scored 2 goals in quick succession, and all of a sudden they were easy street. So that's what they have available to them, is quality in the team that can hit you on the counter-attack. They've got the ability to do it.
It was a 3-1 win for Dallas last week at their rivals Houston. Valentin brings it down on the touchline.
I think Jack Barmby will want more touches on the ball. Want to come in and get a feel for it and start to combine a little bit more with Diego Valeri, trying to break down FC Dallas. Caleb Porter talked to us about Barmby earning this situation, earning the second start of the season, given his substitute appearances and how well he's done.
Adi into the corner for Valentin. He was unable to get there in time. We see Jack Barmby playing on the right tonight, Ross. He's a left-footed player, has a fantastic left foot. What's the benefit of having a left-footed player like Jack Barmby starting on the right wing?
Well, what Caleb Porter signaled out was what Barmby gives you is similar to Nagby, how he likes to come inside and find those intricate passes, ways through with combining with Diego Valeri. I also think with Barmby, he likes to be able to see the pitch, to come inside, and with that lovely left foot, either pick out bigger passes or he can go for the strikes on goal. We've seen him hit the bar a few times. He can unleash a shot from 25 yards out, 30 yards out, and have tremendous accuracy.
Ted Uncle points to his watch. This is the second time he's done that with Chris Seitz preparing a restart. He says no more early for a time-wasting warning, but it's been given to Dallas's keeper. Came off the head of Taylor. Valentin is there. It's a poor ball. Gleason trying to keep it from going out for a corner. He was able to. It'll be a throw for Dallas. Ulloa kept it in play. Nifty touch from Diaz and a foul called on Valentin.
Argument whether that ball went out for a throw-in or not.
The Timbers certainly thought it did. Milano under pressure. Zimmerman almost made a mess of it, was able to get it to Rudy. Zimmerman still coming forward, and a delayed whistle on a foul from Jack Jewsbury as Ted Uncle waited to see if an advantage would develop for Dallas.
He was a bit out of control. Zimmerman just trying to make sure he was looking after the ball. He was put under a tough spot initially to try and keep possession, and from there it was just bobbling around and him trying to make the most of it. Jewsbury does catch him.
Atiba Harris. Chara broke it up, went right to Rosales. A Rudy volley. That's easy in the end for Gleason. Every time the Timbers score a goal this season, the club in Geldwen will plant a tree in the Portland community through a partnership with Friends of Trees. Geldwen Windows and Doors, official partner of the Portland Timbers. Adi wants a foul, gets it.
Wasn't happy about the treatment he was receiving from Matt Hedges. Both him and Walker Zimmerman are paying close attention to Fernando Adi. He's up for a battle today.
Timbers are going to get the big guys forward. Taylor and Ridgewell into the box. They had success from the set pieces against Seattle. 2 goals, one off a corner kick, one off a free kick. Valeri into the area looking for Ridgewell on the back post. Sent clear by Dallas.
We saw that last week against the Sounders. All kinds of space at that back stick. A few picks going on, bodies blocking one another and allowing Timbers player to free up there. It was Ridgewell. He's looking to peel off, but Zimmerman making sure that he was watching and following Ridgewell all the way.
Ulloa to a Rudy. Leaves for Diaz. Cuts inside. Still Diaz. Rosales wants it. Said he played it into the feet of Ulloa. Diaz again. Wide to Hollingshead. Trying to get around Valentine. He does, and it's off Taylor and out for a corner.
He's surprisingly quick, Hollingshead. He's played many positions for this FC Dallas team. He's asked to do a job tonight at left back, and he does well to just separate himself from Serge Valentine. As the ball just comes out to him, he's just trying to get it, Hollingshead, to the end line, but Steven Taylor, I'm sure as he gets across towards that front stick, sees the ball out.
Second corner kick for Jake Gleason to deal with. Rosales will take. Falls dangerously in the box. It's off Hedges in the end. Ridgewell picks out Valentine with space.
In the end was a good enough decision from Valentine. He looked up and Addy was swarmed by red kits, and in the end he's pulled it back to try and maintain the ball.
Vitas. Valeri into Milano. Valeri gets it back. Now Barmby. Big switch. There's a lot of room for Valentine on the right. Hollingshead closes it down. Barmby broken up momentarily by Ortiz. Barmby gets it back. Still Jack Barmby. Goes down. Valentine. And the Timbers get another corner.
You just wonder whether Barmby was thinking to shape up and go for a strike when he realized the amount of room that he was allowed. At first he was thinking pass, but then it opened up for him, and in the end there was enough time for the defenders to come across. Still got something out of it.
He has a fantastic left foot, Jack Barmby. We saw a couple weeks ago his strike off the post against Seattle that led directly to the Timbers' only goal in that match. Jack Jewsbury will have to wait a moment to take this corner kick as Ted Uncle has a discussion with Liam Ridgewell and Ryan Hollingshead. Now the corner. Harris got his head to it, but it's out for another corner.
You still have to be wary of the counterattack on. Michael Barrios is just creeping off Vitas, and Mauro Diaz just having a look around just to see where Barrios is drifting to. It's 2v3, two FC Dallas players further forward.
Second corner in, Ridgewell went down. Back to his feet as Dallas gets it clear. Jewsbury picked out Barmby with an overhead kick. Now Barmby gets it taken away by Ortiz. Jewsbury got it back. Valeri. Under heavy pressure from Ulloa. Got the nutmeg but didn't get it back, and then brings down Victor Ulloa.
Rather annoying challenge from Valeri in the end. Victor Ulloa's done very well here. Just to win the ball back, use his body. Just as he comes in, he's Valeri going for little trick to try and go line, but he stays with it. Clear foul.
Two assists last week for Diego Valeri. 5 goals, 2 assists in his last 8. Up to 10 goals, 7 assists on the year. He's the only Timber ever with 3 double-digit goals seasons.
Just look how Michael Barrios has stayed out of it. He's gone to the far side here as Rosales comes in to pick up the ball. It's the way FC Dallas going forward. They can shift around positions between Rosales, between Barrios, between Mauro Diaz. Almost wherever they want to go to get on the ball, where they feel comfortable.
Impressive for a team to lose a player like Fabian Castillo. Widely considered one of the at least most dangerous players in MLS. And really, so far at least, seemingly not miss a beat.
Again, Jewsbury's having to come across. Milano wasn't tracking Harris, as Harris had all kinds of space to drive into.
Here's Barrios. Rosales back to Ortiz. Diaz into Barrios, who is offside.
Well, the line was right for the Timbers. It had to be right because there was a space between Ridgewell and Vitas. But Ridgewell just making sure he shifted far enough up to catch them offside, FC Dallas.
Big run forward from Milano. Finds Valentin with space on the right. Valentin across in. Strong header by the 6'4" Matt Hedges. Not a lot of teams with center backs that can match Fernando Adi for size. And I don't know that Hedges and Zimmerman quite can, but maybe as close to that as you'll find in the league.
We saw last game at Toyota Stadium, Walker Zimmerman getting a goal off a corner kick, the way he's gotten away from his mark. They're a threat, those two, when they come up for set pieces. Just thought that last game when the Timbers were here, though, what a good game they were playing and how quickly things turned with Hollingshead getting a goal and Walker Zimmerman, as I said. But the Timbers in that match, I thought, particularly the first half, really controlled things that night.
Stephen Taylor called them honey monsters. Matt Hedges and Walker Zimmerman coming forward, which I've learned is a cereal in Great Britain. 2 minutes of stoppage time indicated by the fourth official of a minimum of 2 minutes. Ulloa from distance. Gleason did not get a touch, and it went just wide.
Well, by the reactions from the FC Dallas players, it was as though Jake Gleason got the faintest of touches here as Ulloa just gets it out of his feet. And it is close. It's very close. It's enough for Gleason at full stretch. Diving across, and Ulloa, it's a good dig from him around the 18-yard box. Gets it out of his feet and has time to go for goal.
Victor Ulloa now in his 6th season with FC Dallas and his 3rd, contributing significantly. Relatively remarkable story. Played just 9 minutes in his first 3 seasons in the league. Oscar Pereira came and said, I want you to play, and essentially revived Ulloa's career and has been one of their steadier performers. Victor Ulloa has past 3 seasons.
He's done well tonight, just the way he's been getting involved with things, breaking things up.
Vitas steps up, gives it away. It's Ulloa intercepting, going back to his keeper, Chris Seitz. Ulloa coming forward. Diaz through for Barrios. Barrios cuts it across. Valentin Ulloa! Just before halftime, the 2nd for Dallas.
It was a lovely work goal from FC Dallas, and it all starts with that man, Victor Ulloa. Gets on the ball and he starts the attack going, and from there he finishes up the play. Just see as he comes on to the penalty spot and he thunders the ball in beyond to take FC Dallas to a 2-0 lead, but it was all about that pass initially. In behind Vitas, who's turned, running back towards his own goal, and Barrios is just putting it right across goal. And Ulloa making no mistake about it as he steps on invitingly to that ball and thunders it in.
2nd goal of the season for Victor Ulloa.
Well, he won the ball initially too, just out of the midfield. Won it off of Char, then he drove forward, and then he just waited to see how the play was going to develop.
And we go into halftime. 2-0 FC Dallas. Caleb Porter shaking his head as he heads to the locker room. A 2-goal hole for the Timbers to try to overcome in the 2nd half. Mauro Diaz, Victor Ulloa, the goal scorers. Timbers down 2-0. We'll be back from Toyota Stadium. Maddox ready to come on. We will have the first clear player substitution of this match before the second half kicks off. It will be Maddox on for Jack Barmby. Darren Maddox making his first appearance since July. Injured his hamstring, missed 8 matches. He missed 7 with the injury, was getting ready to come into the match last week at the end against Seattle, but the game ended in time. And we are now underway in the second half. The Portland Timbers and FC Dallas from Frisco, Texas. Caleb Porter told us before the match, Ross, that Darren Maddox wasn't quite fit to start this week. He, again, hasn't played in almost 2 months. His last match was July 10th against New York, and he only played a couple minutes in that match before pulling up with a hamstring injury. So it's really been 2 full months since he's played a full match.
And obviously 2-0 down. You need to shake things up, try and find a response out of your side. And Barmby, I think, would be disappointed that he didn't get on the ball more. There wasn't that space for him to be able to get on. The midfield was clogged up. But Darren Maddox, with his pace coming on, he'll be looking to try and get in behind and to stretch things out.
Juan Esteban Ortiz will go into the book. First yellow card of the match for an FC Dallas player.
Talk about developing a rhythm, and I think the referee has had a big part to play in this. And I think on the wrong side of it, he's been blowing the whistle far too often. There's been so many fouls called, and really settled into any sort of rhythm of this game with everything that the referee's blowing up.
We saw Timbers called for 9 fouls in the first half, FC Dallas just 4. That the first one of this second half. Diego Valeri will take this restart as the center backs have pushed forward into the box. Header won by Matt Hedges. Valentine pops it straight into the air.
But wasn't a good ball from Valeri. Taylor was just trying to peel around the backside, but Valeri didn't hit it deep enough for him.
Strong header from Walker Zimmerman. Taylor settles. There is the substitution at halftime. Darren Maddox on, Jack Barmby off. Here is Darren Maddox. Leaves for Milano. Now he gets it back. Hollingshead got over there, but it will be a corner kick for the Timbers.
I don't think Maddox realized the ball was perhaps there for Valentine to run onto. But he'll be wanting to make an impression, Darren Maddox. He's got 45 minutes to deal with, and you know then if you're struggling a bit for fitness, well, 45s, you can wrap your head around that at least.
Jack Jewsbury will take this corner. To the near post. Rudia header, only as far as Valentine. Chara gets it back to Jewsbury, and it seemed like Jack Jewsbury, Diego Valeri couldn't decide who was going to go for that ball, and it's out for a throw.
It was just played in between the two of them. That's where we say it just hasn't happened for the Timbers with the quickness in their passing, their combination play, and being on that same page what we saw last week.
How difficult is it when you keep having to change your lineup? All season long, Caleb Porter has said it, he hasn't been able really ever to pick the same starting 11 twice, especially after a win, mostly because of injuries. This week, it's because of player absences, because of World Cup qualifiers.
Well, look, both sides are having to deal with top players being out, but when you have to deal with Darlington Nagbe, a player of that caliber being out, of course it's going to take a lot away from your team going forward. Of course what Nagbe gives you defensively as well, but last week what he was doing with Valeri and Addy, sometimes the combination plays, it pulled Seattle Sounders apart, so it's definitely going to miss that tonight.
Diaz carries it up the middle, looking for Barrios, and it's in the arms of Gleason. Darlington Nagbe, of course, away with the U.S. national team, did not play in their 6-0 win over St. Vincent and the Grenadines yesterday. There's another match coming up on Tuesday. Adi trying to get through. Still Fernando Adi. Hedges is there as well. And that went out, I believe, off of Matt Hedges. It is off of Hedges. It will be a corner.
Well, he's coped with that very well, Hedges. A couple of times you thought Adi was just going to get away from him. He managed to pin him, just get him on his back, and he was trying to roll him, but Hedges stayed right with him.
Another chance for a corner kick. Maddox, Taylor, Ridgewell, Oddie, Vitas, a lot of targets in the area for Jack Jewsbury.
Just see Taylor, he's doing circles around Ridgewell. He's using him as a post to try and run off of and get a block in.
Here's the corner. Taylor settles, was looking for the far post and put it wide.
Just wouldn't drop for him quick enough. As his first touch, he's allowed the ball to pop up in the air. It gave enough time for Yoa just to close down. See, Taylor ends up using Maddox as a screen, and at first touch trying to settle, but it wouldn't come down for him. In the end, the pressure was enough from Yoa for Taylor to hit that wide.
Valeri in the midfield. Trying to get it to Maddox. It was broken up. Vitas steps up. Now Milano. Cuts inside. Sees some space, runs into it. Still Lucas Milano. Looking for Adi, broken up. Milano, a volley off the post. Adi trying to get back to it, and it went right into the arms of Seitz.
Well, it's come from nowhere as Lucas Milano unleashes an absolute bullet that thunders off the crossbar, and Fernando Adi is trying to follow up the play. Zimmerman, he does enough just to get contact onto Adi so he can't steer that ball towards goal. But what a hit from Milano. As it bounced back so nicely, it sat up, and he's absolutely laced that ball.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the pitch, Maxi Arudi has gone to the turf, writhing around, holding onto the back of his head. His former teammate Liam Ridgewell, the culprit, and is shown a yellow card.
Ridgewell going into the books now. But what an opportunity that was at the other end with Milano, and Seitz was completely beat.
Haven't seen Milano from distance before, I can't think, in a match. Showing off a different side of his repertoire there.
He stepped onto it so confidently and smoothly, the way he approached the ball.
Diaz serves it into the box. Zimmerman! From the post on one end to the third goal for Dallas on the other. 3-0.
And how cruel this game can be as the Timbers have a glorious chance going the other way, and then FC Dallas come back the other side. Put them 3 goals to better. But what a ball this is into an area, and Zimmerman is just better to it. He rises above Jack Jewsbury, who's just trying to backtrack, and it's a powerful header as he leaps above all the Timbers players around him, and he just powers that ball into the back of the net.
It's his 3rd goal of the season, the 2nd against the Timbers here at Toyota Stadium.
I think he's just come off of Stephen Taylor. Zimmerman, I think that was his mark. Jewsbury just backpedaling. It was a lovely ball for Zimmerman to come onto.
Taylor called Zimmerman and Matt Hedges honey monsters when he talked to us this morning, talking about their ability to cause problems getting forward on set pieces. And one of those honey monsters gets it past Jake Gleason.
Well, the placement of the ball coming in from Diaz at center of the goal. Zimmerman, he's up early, big and strong, and he can pick which side from there. He got the contact all right. The angle was very nice, the way it was set up for him.
Matt Hedges shown a yellow card, meanwhile, on the other end, and Diego Valeri over a free kick. Timbers need something quick. To the back post, looking for Jewsbury. Heads it down. Maddox trying to turn. Can't get any power behind that shot. It would have been difficult to put that on goal. Gleason plays it out as Michael Barrios is down behind the play.
The yellow card has been issued to Portland player number 3 in the 57th minute.
Barrios, Dallas's leading scorer with 8 goals this season. Here's a look at tough landing from Michael Barrios.
He's fallen awkwardly into the body of Jara. Jara's just using his arm to keep the distance away and to win the first ball.
KeyBank hassle-free account, no overdraft fees, no monthly fees, no hassles. Turn to Key. Visit key.com/hassle-free.
Well, it's digging in time. You see the motions from Steven Taylor, trying to get his team up and going. If you can get a goal back, see where things can take you.
Adi was offside. Is it difficult to stay up in a match like this?
So,
no?
Very difficult.
Yeah.
Of course it is, where you look at it 3-0, got a lot of time still to play, you're in the warmth. And the morale is obviously a bit low, but that's where you depend on the characters in your team. Players who have been there, done that before. And I look around and you look at Taylor, Ridgewell, Dewsbury, Java, you look for those guys to put in a tackle and to really lift you, to get you going and find a way. Let's talk about, you find out your characters in these games. Who's are the ones that, despite being 3-0 down, are going to continue to fight? I think as a manager, you find a lot about your players in these situations.
Another set piece coming for FC Dallas.
I think most importantly too is you keep your head. Make sure you keep on the pitch as well as Ridgewell. He's just fighting for the ball there.
Jake Gleason trying to set his wall. Wanted only one in the wall and he got it. Now Rosales to take this restart. Again into the box. Bounces clear. Milano under pressure from his very good friend Maxi Arudi. Gets taken down. The foul is on Arudi, and it looks like Maxi is going to go into the book.
And as the referee just points out, there's one too many for Maxi Arudi, not just that single situation. The foul on Milano there was a few of them.
Second yellow card of the season for the former Portland Timber.
Milano's just trying to get out of the situation. A little bit of skill, but Arudi unwilling to let Milano get the other side of him.
Those guys became fast friends when Lucas Milano joined the Timbers last season. Arudi, of course, a part of that MLS Cup winning team. Fernando Adi very upset. And Ross mentioned you got to keep your head. That's important right now.
Well, the motion from Fernando Adi would suggest that there was a kick out. Ted Uncle has a bit of sorting out to do. But just as Fernando Adi is going in, Atiba Harris jumps up for the ball. But when they come in, is there a kick out from Atiba Harris? Doesn't look like much there. Whether Adi has just felt a boot from behind, but Atiba Harris didn't look to be intently making contact.
Ted Uncle in a very serious discussion with his fourth official, Fotis Bazakos, and the assistant referee Apolinar Mariscal. He'll bring over Harris and Adi.
Most of the discussions initially was between Fernando Adi and Harris. I think Uncle's made the right decision there not to bring out any cards. Not coming together there as they come across, and it's the left leg of Harris that just falls on him. And Adi, with his head turned, he doesn't see what the intentions were from Atiba Harris, but it's just merely Harris falling onto the body of Fernando Adi from the initial challenge. Nothing in it at all.
So just a talking to from all of that. And the initial foul was called on Fernando Adi. So it's Dallas with the restart.
They handled it well there, the referees. Credit to them. Giving them a bit of stick for calling too many fouls in this game and disrupting the rhythm of it, but I thought they handled that very well.
Great back heel from Adi to pick out Maddox. And the final call, not there from Darren Maddox.
There was a chance. Apologetic, motion up the hand there, but he was in a good area, Maddox, and they had runners coming onto him. Just looking down at the sidelines, Jake, and assistant coach Pablo Marrero is motioning towards the substitutes, and it looks as though Ned Grabavoy might be the next name called in.
As far as attacking options for Caleb Porter, Ned Grabavoy and Jack McInerney are the ones on the bench right now. Darren Maddox has already been subbed in. He has it now. Finds Vitas. Cuts inside. Tries to pick out Valeri. Might fall to Maddox. Still Maddox. Now it's Valeri. It's broken up. And Rudy is springed. Taylor is able to get there and allow Vitas to come help out. As Rudy was sprung through down the right side, looked initially like there was going to be a lot of space.
He was just surveying his options there, didn't like what he saw, so decided to pull the ball back.
Harris coming forward, chopped down by Chara. No call. Ulloa, he has time. Thought about it from distance. Chara broke it up. Ulloa got it back. Vitas to midfield, right to Harris. Ulloa. Now Rudy. Ulloa making the run. Rudy going near post. Gleason makes the save. It was actually pegged for the far corner, and Gleason had to parry it over.
Well, he just stands up to Liam Ridgewell, Rudy, and he decides to take him on. It's a little shift to the ball. Doesn't have the space to try and go past him. The angle wasn't in his favor, but he went for power. Just after that, down at Ridgewell, and he seemed to be giving a long glare towards somebody, and just get the sense it was towards Lucas Milano for his lack of defending there and not coming back to support.
We're told Ned Grabavoy getting ready to come into the match. It'll be for Diego Chara. I'll explain that in a moment. Gleason got his hand to it but couldn't catch it. Almost fell dangerously to Rosales with Gleason out of his net. It's okay in the end. Valeri cuts back into space as Milano and Adi making runs forward. Finds Milano on the right side. Leaves for Maddox. Back to Milano. Valeri wanted it. It's broken up by Ortiz. The reason why Grabavoy, theoretically, the reason why Grabavoy would come in for Chara is Diego Chara is sitting on a yellow card warning. If he gets a yellow card in this match, he would miss next week against RSL. Barrios sprung through. Gleason off his line. He rounds Gleason, and Valentin is there to send it away.
Well, Valentin deserves credit for staying with it because it looked a certain goal and a fourth goal. But all that space in behind that is sprung through for Barrios as he makes a clever run. A big touch to try and round Gleason, but Valentin, as I said, he decides to stay with it, gets himself back towards the line and sees it out. What a great opportunity it was for FC Dallas, and what a great pass it was through to Barrios.
Timbers will wait on the substitution to allow Diego Chara to help defend this corner kick. Again, we're told the word from down below is it'll be Chara for Grabavoy. It's Rosales into the box. Adi a defensive header. Diaz heads it back in. Vitas strong to get it clear. Milano a back heel into space. Chara running after it. Ulloa will get there first. Milano tried to bring it down, couldn't. And Dallas is able to get it back to their keeper, Chris Seitz.
He's had a good night, Victor Ulloa. Defensively, he's been doing his job. Obviously took his goal well in the first half. But you can see where FC Dallas haven't missed Fabian Castillo as much as you would have initially thought, and it's the work rate of the team. How much they put in suppressing and making it horrible for teams to try and play. There's always a red kid around.
Timbers trying to get it to Adi in the box. They can't, and now Dallas, if they can come quick, might have a numerical advantage.
We've got this release valve. Mauro Diaz, his ability to pick any pass.
Maxi Arudi. Diaz, Rosales. Dallas content to keep the ball.
They'll be in no hurry now.
Rosales trying to find Barrios. Gleason outlets quickly.
Chatted to Caleb Porter before the game, and he talked about the need for the Timbers to get into those layers, for them to find players in pockets.
Vitas to Adi. Holding off Hedges, trying to find Jewsbury. It was broken up. Here comes Arudi. Barrios has Ulloa and Rosales on the far side. It will be Mauro Rosales. Looking back for Barrios. Chara gets it clear.
Well, it's so open as the Timbers commit more and more numbers forward. Certainly the front four for the Timbers weren't going to be coming back there. Almost a separation between the two. Four going attack, sixes sitting in defending the counter attack.
Been waiting for a sub for a long time. Jetterson, one of the newest members of FC Dallas, has joined Ned Grabavoy at the fourth official. Ball hasn't come out of play in a few minutes. It'll be Jetterson for Mauro Rosales, we are told, the word from down below. Whenever these substitutions can be made, we're also told Aaron Guillen will come on for FC Dallas. First, the two Fleer player substitutions we've been mentioning. Ned Grabavoy will come on for Diego Chara. Chara sitting on a yellow card warning. He's suspended. His next yellow card will come out of the match to preserve his ability to play next week against Real Salt Lake. And for FC Dallas, their first Fleer player substitution of the match as Jetterson comes on for Mauro Rosales. Maddox to Valeri in the box, trying to leave for Maddox, broken up by Ortiz. Diaz gets around Grabavoy into space for Barrios. As Jetterson on the far post, tries to pick him out, he does. Jetterson hends it on goal, but it's right at Gleason. Milano. Grabavoy. Valeri has Maddox down the right, instead spins around Ulloa. Broken up by Ortiz. Grabavoy slides in, got a touch to it. Couldn't control it.
I think with Grabavoy coming in, it'll look more like a 4-3-3 from the Timbers. We'll be looking to join in a bit more, but does FC Dallas find their way through again?
Rudy is onside. Takes his time in the box. Plays back to Barrios. Ulloa. Diaz. Arudi. Over the bar. To the future site of the National Soccer Hall of Fame behind the goal the Timbers are defending. Did you know world-class players Casey Keller, Luis Robles, Christine Sinclair, and Megan Rapinoe all played collegiate soccer at the University of Portland? See the Stars of tomorrow at Merlot Field. Follow the Pilots and purchase tickets today at portlandpilots.com.
Looks like a lot of tired bodies on the pitch now. That last sequence on FC Dallas, just a little look around afterwards, Jake, at the body language of the Timbers and players fixing their socks, having a look around, and it's been a tough night. And you always want to look to salvage something out of it. Can you pick out a positive?
Vitas will win a corner kick.
Say hands on hips, seeing if he can nick a goal. Just about 20 minutes to play. I don't know. But obviously right now morale's a little bit low. Just trying to find a way to lift it.
Seitz is fouled as Ridgewell went crashing in. It was a poor punch by the Dallas keeper.
Seitz just comes out, he's trying to gather this contact from Ridgewell coming in. A couple little hiccups from Seitz tonight, hasn't quite as confident coming for things, but hasn't had a whole lot to deal with all the same. Got away with it.
Chris Seitz, fantastic story. This is his second season as really a full-time starter in MLS, but he's probably best known for one of the more selfless moves that you'll ever see an athlete make. In 2012, he donated his bone marrow to a complete stranger to help a fight with leukemia. He was in a registry because back when he played for Real Salt Lake, he was teammates of Andy Williams, longtime MLS veteran. Andy Williams' wife was diagnosed with leukemia, so everybody on that team joined the registry, of course, probably thinking it's a long shot that they'd ever get called as a match. Well, Chris Seitz in 2012 was, and despite being an active MLS goalkeeper, decided to donate his bone marrow. He missed most of an entire season. Because of that, he was named the 2012 MLS Humanitarian of the Year, which is probably the most obvious pick for that choice in league history. And now has revived his career in Dallas. He's won their starting job this season. Flair player substitution for FC Dallas, their second of the match, as Aaron Guillen comes on for Juan Esteban Ortiz. Guillen making his second career appearance. 23-year-old, homegrown.
As Guillen comes in, he'll go over to the left back position. Hollingshead comes in beside Ulloa. Jefferson, since he's come into the match, he's been playing over on the left side.
We're told that the final Flair player substitution for the Timbers will be Jack McInerney for Fernando Adi. McInerney is standing next to the fourth official as Adi is fouled, and that will be the final action of the match for the big man, Fernando Adi. Third Flair player substitution for the Timbers. McInerney for Adi as the boos rain down from Toyota Stadium. The team's up 3-0.
I think that's the boos coming from the altercation with Adi and Harris. Not the most for Fernando Adi to feed off tonight. Not the best of nights we'll see from him in a Timbers kit.
You'd think with the way it's gone for their team that the FC Dallas supporters would let that go. Milano, or rather it's Ridgewell leaving for Grab-A-Boy. Big center back has stayed forward.
So you've been very civil there, just thinking the best of supporters on the away crowd.
Maddox is in the box. Try to back heel to Valeri. It's broken up. Just think when you're up 3-0, focus on the positives. No need to bring negativity into your ear. Here's Max Ciaruti. Now Michael Barrios. Grabavoy stuck in. Ulloa. Arudi turns. Arudi trying to score against his former team, and he just missed.
But Arudi, I feel as though he should be at least working Gleason there, and he's got all kinds of space. Center of the goal, 20 yards out. Oh, was on his weaker foot there, but he's opened up well. He's just going for the far corner. Right side of Jake Gleason. He's been a pest all night though, Maxi Arudi, to the Portland Timbers. Just the way that he's pressed from that front.
Here's Valeri. Can the Timbers get one? Maybe it'll be Milano. He was onside, but the angle wasn't right. And he couldn't handle it in the end.
You've got to give credit to the center backs of Zimmerman and Hedges. Hedges just saw that run and followed Milano all the way. The two of them have worked very well together tonight.
Milano, the closest to scoring for the Timbers tonight. Put it off the post in the 52nd minute, just moments before Dallas got their third. Taylor steps up to win it. Ridgewell direct to the feet of McInerney. Leaves for Grabavoy. McInerney almost a giveaway.
See, there's no real movement. Too stationary from the Timbers as Ridgewell picks his head up. Not much for him to try and hit.
Trying to pick out Milano, maybe McInerney. Header won by Zimmerman. Milano fouls Ulloa.
Just getting the sense it's about time ticking away now. A couple passes from Zimmerman that he strung together. He's hit with confidence. It's always going to give you that urge and the belief to go and try things when you're 3-0 up, but credit to him because he's connected a few very lovely passes.
Here's Jetterson. Back to Hollingshead. Now Diaz. Barrios, touch around Vitas. Ridgewell was there. Here's Diaz. Looking for Jetterson. It's over his head. Valentin brought it down. Sent into space for Darren Maddox. And Hedges got there first. Maddox stays down, holding on to his right ankle. Hedges is down as well as the two collided, going for the 50-50 ball.
He got himself across Hedges so quickly. Again, looked as though he had the pace to be able to match with Maddox, but Hedges comes across and with the collision sees both of them on the deck, but he just takes a knock to the head there as he goes in for the challenge. He does win the ball. You see Guillen just giving the instruction that he's there, he can go win it. But Hedges is already committed, and that left knee of Darren Maddox just going into the head of Matt Hedges. That is tough one to take.
Yeah, that is a hard hit. Difficult to see in real time, but certainly on replay you can tell the impact. Matt Hedges.
We spoke earlier just how important he is for this team, and just see a little sight of a bit of blood as a tissue goes in and dabbing around the mouth.
Hasn't had a lot of luck playing against Portland. Tore his meniscus on April 13th, that match at Providence Park. Missed 7 matches after that. And total, he's been out for 8 matches this season. Dallas, just a .500 record without Matt Hedges, 4-4. Decent, but not quite the level they are with their center back.
Well, he commits to the challenge, and it's big and brave from the center back. Just catches the knee of Mannix, but it's one of those, you put your body across, you have a foot there to win the challenge, but to make sure that the rest of your body blocks it in case the attacking player gets a touch on it. It's good technique in terms of sliding in for the tackle from Hedges, but he's come up the worst for it.
Hedges off the pitch. Dallas appeared to be ready to put in a youngster, Coy Kraft, who has his warm-ups off on the sideline and is getting instructions from a Dallas assistant. There's Coy Kraft. See if this possible injury to Matt Hedges changes anything. Valeri, Milano lets it run through. Sent clear. Now Ridgewell. Valentine. Ridgewell continued his run forward. Zimmerman broke it up. Here is Jetterson. Brazilian, signed on loan in July. Both players, Hedges and Maddox, now back on the pitch. Barrios. Ulloa already has one. It came off Jewsbury, and Gleason made the save. Ulloa gets it back. Jetterson.
It's a training pitch now for FC Dallas. Possession, a little bit of keep ball for them. And that's when it really does frustrate you, being on the other end of it, having to chase, you're tired. You know it's going to be very difficult to find a way back into the game. 10 minutes to go, and you go back to who are the ones going to be fighting. As a manager, you scan across the pitch and you just look to see those characters in your team and who will continue to go.
McInerney still fighting, but he maybe is a little too aggressive as he clips Hedges from behind. Five goals this season for Jack Mack. Jetterson spinning, trying to get away from Grabavoy. He's called for a foul. And here will be the Fleer player substitution for FC Dallas. 19-year-old Coy Kraft will come on. And Michael Barrios will come off. Second appearance this season for Coy Kraft. Played 11 minutes on July 23rd, his only other appearance. This is his 3rd season, was signed as a homegrown player right out of high school. Actually made his debut in MLS against Portland in the 2014 season finale here at Toyota Stadium. Vitas into the box, Zimmerman heads it high into the air. It fell to Valeri, but McInerney called for a foul, bringing down Walker Zimmerman.
Well, for Jetterson, just waiting to see what this youngster has to offer for FC Dallas. Saw him play in his first start for FC Dallas against Sporting Kansas City, and I feel as though he showed an awful lot, but player needs time to settle in. Again, CONCACAF. Saw him play for FC Dallas Champions League, so just waiting to see what the next young talent for Oscar Pereira has coming through.
You see him battling with Vitas. There is a wild story of how he got here. He was playing for a smaller club in Brazil, his native country, and then this June was set to go on loan to Sao Paulo, one of the giants of Brazilian soccer. But the same day that loan was announced, fans of Sao Paulo found disparaging tweets on Jetterson's Twitter account from 4 years ago. It was a Twitter account that he didn't even use anymore, didn't even know the password to anymore. And he was, that night, the same night the loan was announced, the loan was canceled because of those tweets. He said he cried a lot, called it the chance of his life. He had bounced around small clubs, the opportunity to play for a club like Sao Paulo. His excuse wasn't even that he was anti-Sao Paulo. He was a fan of Ronaldo, the original Ronaldo, who was playing for Sao Paulo's rival club at the time, Corinthians. And he was having some playful smack talk with a friend of his who was a Sao Paulo fan. Well, those tweets surfaced 4 years later, 5 years later, when he was set to go on loan to Sao Paulo. And that was enough to keep him from going, from essentially living out his dream. But a month later, things worked out for him as he was loaned up here to FC Dallas.
Chance for him to prove himself, prove his worth.
He's 25 years old. He's playing for the third time in 4 matches. Started against Sporting Kansas City on August 13th, a 2-2 draw for FC Dallas. Thought maybe he'd get a start today with so many players gone, but Oscar Pareja went with Mara Rosales instead. Diaz trying to find Jetterson. It's one-on-one with Vitas. And it's right to Jake Gleason. Jetterson from a small town in New York. He's full of nuggets. A lot of interesting info about Jetterson. A town of 15,000 people in Brazil called Engenheiro Beltrão. 2 MLS players, Jetterson and Felipe from the New York Red Bulls, from the same hometown. A lot of room for Valentin on the right. Valeri gets one back for the Timbers. Was a long time coming, but there will not be a clean sheet in Dallas tonight.
Well, you talk about fighting and you talk about continuing to go for things when they're not going your way and you're having an off night, but for the Timbers, they do just that. As the ball comes in from Valentin, doesn't catch it quite as he would have liked, a slight deflection, but it falls into the path of Valeri, who steps up and he takes it well with nice contact. It's always going to be him tucking that in from that distance, though.
11th goal of the season. Valeri now tied for 8th in the league in scoring. The Timbers, the only team with 2 double-digit scores. Fernando Wadi with 13 is in 5th. Valeri now moves up in the tie for 8th. I should say that's pending results from around the league today.
Say that with Valentin didn't quite get the pure contact, but he did see that late run from Valeri just as he's picked his head up trying to reverse it back into his path. It all came from Darren Mannix. Initial pass out wide to Valentin, and just haven't quite seen that enough from the fullbacks for the Timbers getting on as much as they would have liked, getting into the attack and putting balls in.
It's the first assist, if Valentin ends up getting an assist for that. He might not because it took a deflection. If he does, it'll be the first assist of the season of his Portland Timbers career for Zarek Valentin. Plenty of room and time for Diaz. Now Arudi takes it to the sideline. Ryan Hollingshead. Guillen making a run forward. Couldn't handle it. Maddox took it away. Valeri in the middle. Vitas cuts inside. Now Jack McInerney has Milano making a run. Cut it back. He's looking for Maddox. It's pretty easy for Guillen to head clear.
The space, McInerney to pick his head up to try and find somebody. But as FC Dallas have done well all night, they've gotten to their spots, nice and connected, and they saw out the danger. Now they're just trying to see out the game.
Lucas Milano has Maddox making a run on the right. Instead, keeps it himself. Milano to the back post. Seitz almost made a mess of it and spilled it into the path of Ned Grabavoy, but was able to handle it in the end. There will be a minimum of 4 minutes of stoppage time.
Again, it was Ulloa just trying to track the run. Milano's always going to have the pace to be able to get the other side of him, but Ulloa wasn't giving up and did enough just to push them wide. That challenge with Ridgewell is Rudy's coming across. He's just caught a little bit of the left arm from Rudy.
Grabavoy lost it in the midfield. And then maybe out of frustration, brings down Mauro Diaz and gets a yellow card.
Petulant by Grabavoy. That's what it was. Frustrated the fact that he conceded possession and trying to make up for it afterwards.
3rd yellow card of the season for Ned Grabavoy. Dallas content, of course, to see out the final couple of minutes of this match. Took a 3-1 lead in the 53rd, 3-0 lead, I should say, in the 53rd minute. It was a late Diego Valeri goal that made it 3-1. Mauro Diaz got the first for FC Dallas, a penalty kick in the 14th minute. Ross didn't agree with the call. Then just before halftime, Victor Ulloa made it 2, and that was a tough one to handle, I think, for the Timbers. Feeling all right about the way the first half went, other than giving up the PK. All of a sudden, allowing that second just before halftime probably changes things a bit.
Well, that's just it. 1-0 down, if you're going in at halftime, you feel as though you have a lot more to be fighting for. At 2-0, so it's going to be so difficult. Just how FC Dallas defend their home turf, how they've done that the last 2 years. But that initial one, to go back to that penalty, I just looking back at that with Jake Leeson's right foot, I think is the key with it, and that he pulls out at the last second. Barrios gets in touch, but he leaves his foot in, and I just think that he's crumbling to ground without any or very minimal contact. But FC Dallas, they've been the better team tonight. They've looked after the ball, they've pressed well, they've taken advantage of the opportunities in the final third when it's come their way. They look a team that are full of confidence right now, and that's where you take the hats off with them having lost their player, Fabian Castillo, their main man. You could argue with that. Mauro Diaz, who was the main man between them, but now Diaz is certainly the leader of this team in terms of the attack and what he can do.
He's being talked about as being an MVP candidate, rightfully so, I think, playing on the supporter shield leaders. He said he doesn't care about that. He says it's more important to be a champion than an MVP. I think that's what Dallas fans and certainly Oscar Pereira will want to hear. That's it. 3-1 the final tonight. FC Dallas taking all 3 points and expanding their lead atop the MLS standings. Look at this 90 minutes as a whole, Ross. If you're the Timbers, what do you want to take from this match?
I think from it is the recognition that too many players were off the pace of the game tonight, and how good the Timbers were last week. Just couldn't live up to that same energy, same quality that they showed last week tonight. And you look around and just some tough performances for the Timbers, but you look to get on with it to get over as quick as you can. You turn your attention towards RSL and you go back to Seattle Sounders and you think that's the team we are, not what we turned out tonight. But again, moments in the match do that you've missed, that you could have done better. You start to pick things apart if you start to get into the nitty gritty, but overall just wasn't their night.
Portland Timbers Soccer is brought to you by Simple, a beautifully human way to bank, budget, and save. It starts at simple.com. By Providence Health and Services, go beyond the park. And by Key Bank, the exclusive retail and commercial bank of the Portland Timbers. FC Dallas, a 3-1 win over the Portland Timbers tonight. Timbers postgame coming up. We'll be back from Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas.